Hey folks, welcome back to today's edition of Notre Dame Daily. I'm Pete Mulroy. I want to start with talking about the offensive line here as we get closer and closer now, 10 days away from the season opener, August 31st against Miami. We know C.J. Carr is going to open the season under center. And while the likes of Anthony Knapp, Billy Schrout, Ashton Craig, and Emil Wagner will be taking position in front of him, there remains one battle for the final starting spot on Notre Dame's very good and deep offensive line. Sullivan Absher was viewed as the likeliest to land the starting right guard spot entering fall camp. And while he's absolutely shown well, both Gerby Lambert and true freshman Will Black continue to push for the role. Now, all three will be crucial components to the success of the group as a whole. I think that's beyond fair to say, particularly as Charles Jagusah continues to recover from yet another injury. It's going to be interesting to see how this finishes up because much like the quarterback competition, there's not a lot of time left before you begin with game one. Marcus Freeman said in a recent presser that the veteran leadership of the four players I mentioned a moment ago up front will be crucial, but the Irish coach, and who now enters year 4 at the helm of the program, also noted that good competition continues to develop. Most importantly, Freeman pointing out that while Absher, Lambert, and Black all look good, a decision is going to need to be made soon. So it's great to hear that you have good competition. Guys are getting thrown in there. Even Will Black, who was recruited as one of the premier tackles as a 5-star in all of America, now moving him around, highlighting that versatility of not just Black, by the way, but of the group as a whole. We've seen a lot of guys be able to move up and down that line. Anthony Knapp out at left tackle. Maybe his future long-term exists at guard. So you have guys that are able to go into different spots of the offensive line, and that's big. But on the heels of the recent quarterback announcement, conventional wisdom suggests this final decision with the right guard spot is going to be made in the coming days. We're not reinventing the wheel there. Notre Dame preparing, ranked 6th in the first AP poll to open the season against number 10 Miami on the road. And for me, while Absher may still have the inside track, Lambert possesses incredible size at 6'7", 340, but it's his length and pass protection, the lateral movement, and natural power that really pop when you watch the young man play. I absolutely think the job comes down to these two. Black will obviously have a role. And in something of a thought shift, I think it's fair to believe that Gerby Lambert ultimately winds up with this job. But again, there's a crucial role for all three of them, including the freshman Black. You're going to see a lot of them who lands the final starting spot on the offensive line with the 4 vets returning. I think there's a good chance it's Lambert. You may be in the Absher camp one way or the other. We're going to find out in the coming days because there's not many of them remaining before the opener. And speaking of Notre Dame's opener, you go Miami, Texas A&M, Purdue, and then you back on the road for your 4th game of the season, traveling to Fayetteville September 27th, noon showdown Eastern time with the Arkansas Razorbacks. Sam Pittman returns for a 6th season leading the charge for the Hogs. His best campaign at the helm came in 21. Arkansas 9-4, winning the Outback Bowl. But the past 3 seasons have not gone according to plan. 18-20 in that time, including 7-6 last season, which was capped by a win in the Liberty Bowl. From top to bottom on this team, as is the case with many, since the popularization of the transfer portal, a lot of these teams are going to look different, and Arkansas is no different. Bobby Petrino is back as the OC for Pittman's crew, and Boise State transfer Taylon Green now has the keys to the offense under center. Fluid player, tall, incredibly mobile. He gives them a more legitimate element to that Arkansas aerial attack. We know historically Bobby Petrino, strong up front, wants to run the ball, open up that passing game. But Green's going to give them a different element now. They don't just have to rely on the run. So that's something their opponents, including Notre Dame, will have to be ready for. Omega Black, a transfer from Charlotte, most likely will be the top weapon on the outside. Ismail Cisse, a transfer from Stanford, and Raylan Sharp from Fresno State, along with former UAB wideout Cam Shanks. These are guys that are going to look to carve roles. They were productive individually at their previous schools, but now they elevate play coming to the SEC with a quarterback who's going to be mobile and throw on the move. It's going to be interesting to see how quickly Arkansas can mesh this new group on the outside. And they basically have a brand new offensive line. So for a team like Notre Dame, who may have the best D-line in football and certainly one of the best defenses overall, you kind of lick your chops when you see that, because how the duo now of Mike Washington Jr. and Braylon Russell operate out of the backfield, the two Arkansas running backs, who I expect to be 1-2 on their depth chart, how they operate is going to be a little different because of the unknowns and the short amount of time to work with your new offensive linemen. But these guys, the one thing about the Arkansas backfield, and we'll see it September 27th when the Irish travel out there, they pack a nice punch. Russell is listed at just under 240. And Washington Jr., who came over from New Mexico State, is a shade under 2.25. So you got some big bruisers in that backfield, which is going to create some big effort on the side of Notre Dame's defensive line and linebackers. But again, with an unproven offensive line who has not yet played a game together, they'll only have a couple of weeks in before Notre Dame comes out there on September 27th. It's going to be interesting. Defensively, Notre Dame can prepare for what'll be a physical game against an athletic linebacking group in Fayetteville. Steven Dix comes off a 72-tackle season. Xavier Sori had 99 tackles and 2.5 sacks. He's the leader on the back end in the secondary for Arkansas. So they've got some talent there. There's been some moving parts through this, as again, like I said moments ago, there often is in the age of the portal. But you're going to have some opportunities here for Arkansas to play physical ball and get after it with your premier playmakers, Sori and Dix being perhaps the two most well-rounded players there. On the defensive line, Charlie Collins, Quincy Rhodes, they're productive members of the group, because whether you knew it or not, Landon Jackson, who was a damn good pass rusher for Arkansas, he's gone to the Buffalo Bills, selected in the third round of April's NFL draft. So they're looking to make up numbers and productivity on the defensive line, specifically off the edge. With Jackson now gone, Collins and Rhodes will be a big part of that. It's a rebuilt secondary in Arkansas as well, so you're thinking maybe you might have some downfield opportunities when the Irish roll into town. And defensive coordinator Travis Williams got his handful trying to bring this all together. You take a look at Arkansas' schedule. It is brutal. In addition to Notre Dame, Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M all on the schedule before October 18th. So that's and you got a good Memphis team in there as well, by the way. So not an easy task for Pittman in year 6, where the expectations here are very high. They're going to need to churn out some victories. Not an easy place to go play on the road. It's a noon game, so Notre Dame will start the day. I believe ABC's got the coverage that day. So it'll be must-see TV, as all the Irish games for us are, at least. Physical, something of a fast-paced game, but what exactly Arkansas looks like only a couple of weeks into the season when Notre Dame arrives, with these guys having really not played all that much football together. Certainly something to watch develop, and I'll be keeping an eye on Arkansas as the season progresses, as I will all of Notre Dame's opponents. So you got Game 4 for the Irish, September 27th, and on the road, noon Eastern time start, ABC, Arkansas. Today's spotlight player is a fun one and a really good story. Jason Onye, 6'5", 300-pound defensive lineman, comes back to the Irish this season after taking a leave from the program for personal reasons last year after just 5 games. The kid is an absolute specimen of an athlete. Really impressed in fall camp. Marcus Freeman actually in a recent presser calling it one of the best camps he's seen from anyone in his 4 years in South Bend as head coach. Freeman also noted, and this is big too, you talk about relatability and having a guy coaching you who really gives a you-know-what about you, that he's incredibly proud of the way Onye overcame the adversity and developed throughout his time at the University of Notre Dame and going into now his 4 years spent in South Bend, which is obviously a bigger deal. From a football perspective this season, the North Providence, Rhode Island native poised to have a major impact on an Irish defensive line that, again, could very well be the best in America. He's got a rare combo of size and power and one of the most physically imposing players on the defensive line. That's not going to change. Natural strength's going to allow him to shed blockers. We've seen that in spurts, create loads of disruption up front, and get into the opposition's backfield. And back in the fold, and this is what will be good for those of you watching Notre Dame on Saturdays, you'll be able to see Onye's incredible first step quickness, and it jumps at you. And his versatility, even more so, gives Freeman and DC Chris Ash, along with defensive line coach Al Washington, the ability to use him in different spots. He can line up as a nose tackle. He can go three technique. 6'5", 300, but he moves incredibly well, fluent, and he's got that quick first step, which, again, when you watch him play, that'll be one of the first things you notice about the senior. He's another one of these guys on the Irish defensive line in for a true breakout campaign, and it's very, very good to see Jason Onye back in the mix up front. Beyond being in the mix, he's going to play a lot. And because his level of talent from a sheer football perspective is among the best on the team. And it's also, obviously, in addition to having him back, it's great to see that he is doing well. So that is why Jason Onye was our preview player here, a rejuvenated Jason Onye, which is good news for him and good news for Notre Dame football. And we'll start to see that in a couple days' time. And just to wrap today's show, you got a trio of Irish players who were listed on the 2025 College Football Comeback Player of the Year preseason watch list. Offensive lineman Charles Jagasaw, Boubacar Traore on the D-line, and junior running back Jabron Payne. Obviously, we know Jagasaw went down last year, and now he's banged up again. He'll miss the first couple of weeks of the season, at least for Notre Dame. But you talk about somebody in Jabron Payne. He now healthy, quick, athletic, looked great in camp. He factors into this deep room led by Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, and Aeneas Williams, which is a huge deal. You throw in a physical runner in Jabron Payne, who 2 seasons ago was big for Notre Dame on third downs, and a bigger role carved out now for Nolan James, the freshman, with the injury to Kedron Young. I mean, I think this sets up very nicely. It's a deep, deep running back room. And we saw some of the really great things Jabron Payne's capable of doing in April's Blue Gold Spring game. So it's obviously great to have him back. And we saw the 5 games Traore played last year, and really what his abilities popping off the screen, getting into the backfield, causing turnovers, bringing him back, just constant chaos and disruption. And then he went down for the season with injury. So I think it's obviously well-deserved that they're getting the notice for potential of Jagasaw, Payne, and Traore, specifically Payne and Traore, to be on the College Football Comeback Player of the Year preseason watch list, just about a week and a half away from the start of the season, from Notre Dame's perspective, at least. That's a wrap for today's show. I keep getting the great back and forth with you guys and girls. It's been fun. Continue to do so. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for subscribing, tuning in to Notre Dame Daily, brought to you by Fan Arch. I'm Pete Mulroy. Have a great rest of yours. I'll see you all tomorrow. Go Irish.